Good day, everyone. Ali Safi here from Safi Financial Network. Today is December 19, 2024. Here is another daily analysis. All right. Yesterday, we got a panic sell-off to the downside. Today, we just got a positive momentum, but this positive actually is getting after hours just hammered to the downside. Seems like market just double check and kind of like a back test this 59.45 and then getting back to the downside again. So I would say for S&P 500, we may see another potential downtick tomorrow, which is going to be a weekly negative candle, and we will cover that in a weekly edition tomorrow. But I would say the deeper correction still is going to be the case, but again, that would be less likely. So if that happens, that would be a fantastic scenario before a market, because I would say then January onward is going to be a positive month. Still, it can be the case, but there is going to be another scenario that we may see some kind of like a shallow corrective move to here. Still, we are holding above this election pivot and then getting back to the upside. And for the Santa Claus rally, we may not see new all-time high by this year. So this is going to be the high for this year. So that would be a potential scenario because this candle was a huge volume. So 107 million for SPY, which is S&P 500 ETF traded yesterday. And that was a huge momentum to the downside. So it just put lots of pressure and it needs to recover a bit. But there are lots of indicators that I just watched today. Notice that we are not in a bigger crash scenario. We may see a choppy consolidation or big swings to the upside and downside. And that's going to be the case for 2025 onwards. And this is kind of like at the beginning of the picture of 2025, I believe. So we are going to get into a boom and bust cycle, big swings in 2025. So it's going to be tough year. It's going to be great year for traders, but it's going to be tough year for investors because they get used to seeing new all-time high in a trend momentum. But I would say 2025, we may see a very choppy consolidation. We may see new all-time high, but that's going to be after bust or before bust. So that's the scenario. For S&P 500, I would say still we may see some kind of like a downtick move to here to 57, 54, and to 58, and then we will get back to the upside. If we get to the upside, that would be kind of like a QM pattern. And if we not get above this high, that would be kind of like the warning sign for the market for the bigger corrective move to the downside down the road. So we will see how it goes, because if this trend line breaks through to the downside, that would be kind of like a big warning for the market overall, for the bull market. So we will see how it goes. And moving on to Nasdaq, which ends negative today. So Nasdaq obviously breaking through and there's a bearish wedge to the downside. So we may see some kind of like deeper corrective move to here, to this area, which is going to be a November pivot. So this is election pivot, and this is kind of like a mid-November pivot. So 20,300 to 20,600, that would be the case for end of the correction cycle. There are lots of stocks that I just look at, especially for the tech names and also semiconductors. We will get to those ones. They're not even in a cycle mode for a corrective move. So if they get into correction, we should see bigger picture for the Nasdaq is going down more. Moving on to the US 30, which is Dow. Dow is just confirming that this 42,000 was kind of like a resistance and just getting back to the upside, getting back to the downside again today. And we are still holding up this trend line, but if we get below pivot, election pivot, that would be kind of like the ugly scenario. We can go all the way down to 39,000 for a bigger correction. And that would be kind of like the scenario that I want to get into the market heavily. So we will see how it goes. Moving on to gold, which was positive today, but this positive cycle is just about this back test of this area, which breaking through to the downside yesterday. And as you see here, we just got a topping tail here. I know this is kind of like the shooting star, but shooting star at the end of the cycle is not a bearish candle. If you see this candle at the top, yes, that would be bearish, but usually this is not bearish candle for the pivot low. We may see a downside. Still, I'm just looking for, regardless of this candle, I'm just looking for this continuation to the downside to 24.70 to 25.24. But I just want to talk about this candle. So this candle, we may see a choppy consolidation for the next 2 days before the next sell-off to the downside. That would be the final corrective move to the downside. Moving on to silver, which was coming down today. Silver just got touched my bigger picture area. So this is the area that I'm just looking at to accumulate more silver here. We may see some kind of like a choppy, kind of like a downside here, but that would be great buying opportunity for silver to getting back to the upside again. So I would say my target for silver is going to be $50 per ounce before $44 per ounce. Actually, after before $44 per ounce. So we will see how it goes. But right now, silver is giving us a good buying opportunity, and I was waiting for this long time. Moving on to crude. Crude was negative today as well. So this is kind of like a modest corrective move to the downside, especially yesterday was kind of like a modest corrective move. This is pretty nice because if crude holds this area, I would say that's going to be a bullish. Right now, we tackle this area and we are forming a bullish consolidation. However, stochastic forming a bear reversal, but if price doesn't go to the downside, hold up here, and then this one is getting back to the downside and forming a bull reversal, I would say this is going to be a good higher low for a next rally to the upside to $72. So we will see how it goes. Moving on to individual names, starting with a Bitcoin. Let me just go to the Bitcoin chart here. Um, sorry. Yeah. So 3% to the downside for Bitcoin. Bit is getting into this trend line. I would say if bulls don't come back to this, we may see a bigger corrective move to here. And that would be kind of like the situation because Ethereum obviously is going down to get down to this pivotal point here. And this is institution money. But this is a fresh zone. This is first touch. We may see a bounce potentially to this broken level, which is at 35, 3600, and then getting back to the downside again, 28 to 30, 3,000 is coming to the play. Bond yield getting down today after yesterday's surge. Seems like bond yield is just digesting this news. Bond on the other side, just hammering to the downside. A gap down, getting to this pivot, important level. So whenever we got to this level, last time I was here, we initiate this rally. Let's see how it goes for this. I would say bond yield is finishing its corrective move, and we're just looking for a potential downside move is finished, and potential upside is coming shortly. VIX 14% to the downside. So this is a lower high for VIX, and I know that the candle was bullish, but we may see some kind of like a spike again, getting back to this level, 28 to 30. But that would be kind of like if we see a following by a topping tail or bigger shadow at the top, that would be kind of like sell signal for VIX, potentially a stock market bottom. Moving on to Dixie, which is strength a bit and getting back to the upside. Dixie is strong after yesterday's surge, still holding up nicely, 108 right now is 108.40. So that's pretty strong. Magma indicator after yesterday's sell-off gapped up and then going back down again. Barely positive today. Apple just $1.74 up, still holding up. Not a bad session for Apple. Amazon the same here, but after hours it just took a hit, going down 222. Amazon can go down to here for finishing the corrective rally. So still we may see downside move for Nasdaq is coming because lots of big techies are forming kind of like a bearish momentum to the downside. Meta dollar 62 cents down. This is the same. Microsoft is coming down as well. 430 would be a potential scenario. Google 11 cents up, and also Netflix 12 $49 up for Netflix. Tesla $3.96 down. So that's the Tesla for today. A lower shadow after hours just gain a bit, but still it is negative. Moving on to semiconductor index, which yesterday hammered, today is going down, just getting test this. So we may see another potential drop to 230, but I'm not sure after that because if it goes below that, that would be kind of like an ugly scenario for semis. So still there is potential for a capitulation to here, but this is a lot. So that would be more than 15% to the downside. Socks, the same pattern here. It's just forming a bigger head and shoulder here pattern. And also this pattern is just touching this area. This means potentially 200 level is coming down the road. Taiwan Semiconductor is getting down today, 92 cents. AMD was leading to the downside with Lam Research. We will get to that one. But AMD is getting to my first buying zone. And that would be interesting. If it doesn't hold, it can go lower for a fantastic buying opportunity somewhere around $90. But AMD is one of those names. If it gets to the rally, that would be a parabolic surge to the upside, which I believe still we may see another move to the upside, but after corrective rally is finished. So this is a correction. This is a long-term correction, and you know that AMD, when it's getting to the long-term correction, usually it takes long. But after that, when we get a breaking through to the upside, that would be a huge move to the upside. So this is kind of like the cycle that AMD is stuck here. And you see that this is a corrective move, for example, 22 to 23. Almost took a year to finish the cycle. And this is another mini one. So from May 2023 all the way to 24. So that was kind of like an 8-month cycle. And right now we are at another corrective move to the downside, which initiate again March 2024. Right now, we are at the end of the year still. We may see some kind of like a capitulation to the downside, or we may see a bottoming phase here. So either case, I would be bullish. Regardless scenario of one or two, I would say these are kind of like a good buying level for AMD, and we may see some kind of like, again, not sure if it gets to new all-time high even after this rally. That would be huge. AMD can get doubled from that area within a year or two. So that would be kind of like a fantastic momentum to the upside if it gets triggered. So we'll see. Nvidia, $1.77 up today, still forming a choppy, still looking for a downside move for a final corrective move to 112 to 120. Texas Instrument, 53 cents down here. So Texas can go to 174. Lamb Research, pretty sharp sell-off today, gap down going down. But after hours, it's just forming above 71.21. So that's the area that I'm looking at for Lamb. Lamb seems like forming a bottom here somewhere around 70. If it goes down, that would be kind of like a washout low. But Lamb is just at the trading zone that you can get into long position, I believe. This is a pretty good area. Still, pattern is okay. Like this is a reverse head and shoulder. I'm just looking for follow through to the upside. But if the entire industry goes down, this can go lower. So we'll see. XLF, which is Financial Spider, 17 cents down up today, but still a corrective move. Can be finished somewhere around here. So we are just not done yet. KBE, the same pattern, it's just going down. It doesn't hold this area 56. That was my first target for a bottom. Seems like doesn't. And it can go stretching down here. I would say, based on the formation, I would say if we are in a correction, we are in a good correction. We were waiting for this, but the correction is not done yet. So still needs to be patient if you want to trigger to the long side. KRE 53 cents down, breaking through to the downside. I would say 56, 58 could be a potential scenario. JP Morgan, $225 is coming. Goldman Sachs still above this trend line, managed positive today, but not that strong. Bank of America, the same here. So it can go to 41 to 42. Wells Fargo, 9 cents up here. And this one is in a gap area, so it can go all the way down to $66. Moving on to the gold miners, GDX just heading down, even gold positive. GDX can't manage and can't participate in rally. Even that cat bounce was pretty shallow. 14 cents at GDXJ, 22 cents down. AEM 40 cents down. Newmont just getting to the downside again, 62 cents down here for Newmont. And seems like it doesn't hold this area. We are in a bigger picture to getting down. I just want to bring to this consolidation, which is 34. So we'll see Franco-Nevada, 38 cents down here. Gold Barrick at 28 cents down, and that's it. So moving on to Energy Spider. Energy XLE is heading down again. So pretty sharp sell-off today, 73 cents down. XOP is just going down crazy. We may see some kind of like a forming the bottom here. Charts actually are not that strong. OIH at $2.68 down. And Exxon just getting down to this important area, 100 to 105. This is the great area that I was looking for to accumulate more Exxon, and Chevron is coming down potentially to test this low here, 136 to 141. So we'll see how it goes. All right, folks, I believe I covered everything. If you like this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to our channel, and have a good one. See you on the chart. Bye-bye.